Welcome to this Bitcoin Out Loud interview. I'm John Moriarty, and today I'm joined by Chu, the artist behind the Reapers NFT collection on smartBCH. Chu, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much for having me, man. It's an honor to be here.
I'd love if you could talk a little bit about your situation before you knew smartBCH even existed.
I'm involved in a few different walks of life. Activism has been a big part of my life for like the past 5 to 6 years. My family and I come from a reservation here in California. So I was raised with indigenous activism in my childhood. Other than activism, I've always been doing art since a little kid. I've always been drawing. I was a graffiti artist for a long time doing graphic letters. Then I found myself doing tattoo work. That kind of worked out, got me some cheddar in my pocket. I've been doing digital art now for probably about 4 years.
Had you heard of the concept of NFTs and stuff like that before you got involved with the Reapers project or started it?
I heard it starting to trend more recently, but like cryptocurrency, it was kind of around and it kind of sounded like scammy, if you will, early on. And then I kind of thought about it and I was like, you know what? Everything is pretty much an NFT at this point. If you look at like a lot of what the video games are doing, like Call of Duty and stuff like that, like the camouflages, the guns, the outfits and the skins and stuff like that, those are pretty much like NFTs. And I'm like, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is this is kind of my field here.
How did specifically you then get introduced to smartBCH?
I have a friend named Nestor. I met Nestor at Burning Man right after I had left a massive protest against an oil corporation that was trying to transfer oil through the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation. And I stayed there for quite a while and developed a little bit of trauma there. So right after the protest in the camp, I found myself at Burning Man, really stuck by my side and helping me accomplish a bunch of missions there. There was some huge spirituality aspect to it. But anyways, maybe like 6 months after Burning Man 2019, he's like, hey man, can you draw me a monkey? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, draw me a monkey and put a skull in his hand and have a flower growing out of it. And I'm like, what? All right, fine. So I drew that for him. And then he's like, it looks cool. I think we'll go a different direction. And I'm like, what are you making me draw these pictures for on my iPad? I was getting into digital art. And just a few years later, the Bored Ape comes out and becomes like one of the biggest NFTs on like the Ethereum market and stuff. So I knew that he was kind of onto something. And he's like, yeah, it's a community and it's kind of like it's a cryptocurrency thing. And, I'm just an artist. I just want to draw pictures. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. But he's like, come up with something dope. So I came up with the Grim Reaper. He introduced me to his friend Josh. And he was like, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, I drive for Uber Eats. I'm like, delivering food. And this guy's like, dude, no, we'll work together to drop your NFT. And those two men completely changed my entire life.
Could you talk a little bit about the inspiration? So, like, why did you decide that your NFT collection was going to be Reapers? What inspired all the little different accessories and things that the Reapers can have?
So I wanted something that everybody can relate to. In this community that I was kind of communicating with Nestor and Josh about, and I just was wanting to get to know who they are or whatever. And he was like, they're from everywhere, all parts of the world. And I'm like, well, I think everybody can relate to death. It'll represent life through death, death through life and all that. And I was like, I'm going to do something really cute. Let's do something that I can also implement all of my childhood inspirations into. Because I thought I could take advantage of removing like the face and putting something else inside the hood. And all my childhood inspirations like Naruto and Star Wars and all the things that I grew up on kind of got implemented into them. And then I threw some just random really cool stuff that I really wanted to just throw out there, like Cookie Face's Revenge and the Reptilian and the Akatsuki. And that was the beginning. They're the arc.
You mentioned that you wanted it to be, accessible. And in my own opinion, at least, you really nailed it because some of them are too cute and some of them look totally badass and some of them are silly. A lot of times in the NFT space, there's this huge focus on like rarity, like which are the rare ones or which ones are going to go up in price and stuff like that. Whereas it looks like, at least for the most part, Reapers, there's not just a couple things that are super rare. It's just different traits that people may or may not like more than any others. What was kind of the plan behind how you would distribute these traits?
Let me just start off by saying the 22 rare ones were all hand drawn. So those are individually special because they were just hand drawn. But the other ones, the way that we did it was just like, let's just put out a few hundred of this one with this cloak. We just started playing with the numbers to even out with 10,000. And then we got to a point with all the accessories and all the fun stuff like the eyes and the energies and whatnot and backgrounds. We have some that don't have anything. Josh, the developer of the project, was like, let's just throw some of those guys in there. No eyes, no arms. They only had like 3 traits. Those ended up becoming some of the rarest ones.
That is funny.
So
I've seen in the chat that for a while people were looking for something that had all the traits, all 5
Right.
or whatever. But then it did not take long for people to realize that the kind of minimalist Reapers were highly desirable.
Right. And that's so cool to me, which opened up the idea to start drawing something that can be added onto the Reaper, like the souls. You know how Bored Apes can take on like mutagen tanks or whatnot. And I don't really know how it works, but I was thinking of a way where we can create another NFT and they're just souls. And you can take your soul and enhance your Reaper, right? And I was figuring that some of them that had the no arms and no eyes, the least amount of traits, were the most likely to be boosted higher with those souls. That's why people are like holding on to them or wanting them, just based off of those kinds of little dynamics that we're going to create for this little game that we're thinking of.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that. So your future plans, like you said, maybe more NFTs that interact with the Reapers, but can you give me any more details on kind of what you guys are thinking about doing?
And we would like to see, based off of a stat sheet that we can get off of the token URL of each Reaper, a little battle game, where you can put your Reaper up against another Reaper, put a little bit of money up for it, and they battle. Winner collects the loot. I think that would be something pretty cool. Me and Josh were talking about something like that. Hey, let's work on that. But he said it would take a little bit of time, but that's definitely something that we want to work toward.
Is this the sort of thing you're going to like control your Reaper going around, or is it going to be sort of an automated thing that you see how your Reaper does?
I think it would be more like an automated thing where it's a little animation happens when you put your Reaper up against another one where they battle it out. And just the stats alone will be able to mathematically calculate who wins. I think those kind of ideas is what's going to drive us towards the right direction. That's just barely skimming the line there. There's so many opportunities and potential for the Reapers. You can do so much with them. It can be a trading card game. The souls can be applied to them. There's so many ideas that we're going to be bringing to the table. As soon as we clear up some space with these other projects, the Reapers we're hopping right back on.
You launched with 10,000 Reapers, and they sold out in how long?
It was like 3.5 hours or something like that.
So, of course, congratulations on that. I mean, that's a huge success.
Thank you.
Now you've got kind of this community blossoming. Is that something you expected?
I truly didn't. I thought it was at most going to be just a handful of people. And I'm grateful for whoever's there, no matter if there's 1 or 100 people there. Like I love, sharing a good time with people. So seeing this happen and seeing how it's moving around like a little trading game right now, you see it in the Telegram. Everybody's trading Reapers, or I'll buy this one, or selling this one here and there. And just seeing how they're just keeping it up is really awesome. But no, I didn't expect, to answer your question, I didn't expect that at all. For the community to be this big and to have this much interaction that's pretty big for me. That's huge, actually. So I want to put other artists on to the smartBCH community and stuff and bring more quality NFTs to the smartBCH community.
With any luck, you'll be recognized as, one of the first people to launch one of the actually unique, specific to smartBCH NFT collections. And that's the sort of thing that the community, I'm sure, is super grateful for. And we just need people building cool stuff. I'm glad you've had success. And I just want to make sure you know that you're also doing us a service just by participating. It's awesome to have you. We're all excited to see, what more you can come up with and what more anyone else you can bring to the community can come up with.
If I may share a little bit, we have 2 more projects coming up. I plan on putting out a project that's focused on these dragons that I created and charge a really affordable price so that everybody can feel like they're participating in this. My experience is that not a lot of people got to buy Reapers because they couldn't. So that's what I really want to do, is bring quality NFTs like that, drop them for a really, really decent price, and then be able to really interact with them. So the dragons are coming up. And then we have something called the Orosakai. They're an NFT of these space kind of beings that look kind of like space ninjas. And we're going to be able to use them in battle. And that's kind of our next step, like our next gen of NFT projects for the smartBCH network. And we're blasting through portals with these things, man. we're really going to take it to the next level at a rapid pace. And really quick, Josh's game, Clementine's Nightmare. I don't know if you guys seen anything about that, but check it out. Clementine's Nightmare. Google. It's super dope. Clementine'sNightmare.io, I believe it is. It's a new NFT game that's going to be coming out, and I hope that the Orosekai, even the Reapers, can replicate something like that one day. That's the direction I'm headed for sure. So please check that out.
I love that your goal, especially with the next collections and projects, is to make sure people can be included. There's a lot of speculation on these NFTs, right? People will pick up a bunch of them just because they think that the price will go up. One thing that I can imagine, which is just like the same people buying up the same chunk of NFTs just because they want to speculate.
I don't really have a way around that. But what I'm thinking is that people invest in things because they think the price is going to go up or whatnot. I think people are investing into my projects because they're investing in the artist and the roadmap that we're bringing out for them. So, a lot of people drop NFTs and you don't really see a follow-up with them. And what I plan on doing, not only for the community, but as an artist, is to follow up and really come through and deliver for them. Whether that's airdrops or games or whatever the case may be, I'm consistently working now that this is my full-time thing. I'm consistently working to deliver. For example, a lot of the Ethereum network, things are really, really expensive. On our network, things not being that expensive, it's a no-brainer because of how much fun this stuff is going to be. The community is building itself and we're all hanging out and I'm part of the community. I love interacting with these awesome people that are in the Telegram and in these sites like read.cash and noise.cash and whatnot. And I love hanging out with them. And I think that they feel that they're getting their money's worth because it's like, it's a true interaction, not only with the NFT, but the potential of the future that they're helping build by interacting with the artists consistently. You know what I mean? Like I'm an investment as an artist. And I definitely want to deliver for them. You know what I mean? I don't see myself doing anything else. That's what I'm like. I'll come through for you guys. But ideas are constantly coming. So I hope whoever's watching this is so excited because I'm only talking about 2 projects that we're working on because that's all I'm allowed to talk about.
All right. The ultimate teaser. Before we head off, can you tell people where to find you? Like, Instagram, Twitter, anywhere, internet marketplaces.
For sure. On Twitter, at the Reapers NFT. And then on Instagram, I'm at CHU_MASH, Chu_mash. Really easy to find. On Telegram, we have the Reapers official chat. Yeah, be sure to go to oasis.cash to get your Reapers.
Well, Chu, thanks very much for joining me. I appreciate it, and I wish you best of luck on your future projects.
Thank you so much, brother. It was an honor. Talk to you again soon, man.